Happy Friday. My name is Jeff Feige. I am the SVP of Pre-Sales Engineering, and I have with me my esteemed colleague and close friend, Matthias Huber. Hi, Matthias.
Hi, Jeff. Good to see you.
And you are the manager of product security, correct?
Yes, the product security manager.
Excellent. Oh,
my job is to keeping our product secure.
Yes, sir. So one of the questions that we get a lot is what makes IGEL OS secure?
Okay, so let's talk about that. And I also prepared some slides.
Fantastic.
So server-based computing and VDI, that should be very familiar to you.
It is. It is. So, it's really hard to talk about what makes IGEL OS secure without talking a little bit about VDI and server-based computing. One of the key components here is that with server-based computing, all of your data sits in the cloud, right? We don't have like the old days when we had our Citrix server sitting under our desk or even just a regular server sitting under our desk. We can have that sitting in the cloud where you have a lot more tools like snapshots and rollbacks. If something bad happens, they're updated more often, right? So if you're using, say, for instance, AVD, you know that the servers are going to be updated on a regular basis. The entire infrastructure staffed 24/7. And you have a lot more data security tools in the cloud to keep your data secure. And then, of course, the IGEL connects to that, and the IGEL itself is inherently secure. So, but yeah, that kind of covers the VDI component and the security piece.
Yes. And so far for the server side, we will also have a client side. So you have some kind of endpoint device. And when you power that on, how can you know that it's trustworthy, that it's what it should be and nobody has tampered with it? For example, if you left your notebook unattended for a while or overnight in your hotel room. There are some things that we do to guarantee system integrity, and that is when it boots up, we have a couple of steps, and every step checks the next component to start, whether it's all right. And we do that by checking hashes and signatures. So the UEFI, when you power your device on what used to be called the BIOS, it looks at the bootloader for the operating system and checks whether it has a signature from a trusted party. And that's usually Microsoft in UEFI. And if it checks out, if it's valid, it starts the bootloader. And the bootloader in turn checks the Linux kernel, which is signed by IGEL. The Linux kernel checks the signed IGEL OS partitions. And ultimately, when you connect to your VDI or your cloud workspace, it has a server certificate, and that's signed as well. And this is how we ensure system integrity.
So for file system security, well, I've been doing this a really long time. And one of the things that we've always talked about on the file system security side is that we have a read-only file system. And IGEL's been doing this for years and years and years. So anything that you do change on the file system doesn't get committed to the local disk. And even if it does, based on the chain of trust that we just talked about, right, that particular partition will either not get mounted or the device won't boot. We only store changeable data, right? So configuration data, and that data is encrypted at rest anyway. By default, our configuration, we don't have any caching, so that the majority of or all of the applications do not store their cache data in a permanent fashion. And then we also have the writable partition, right? So it's also AES encrypted, which is for any other type of storage, even if the end user wants to store something on the device and it's configured to do so, that's also AES encrypted. So we keep everything secure at rest and in transit.
Yes, and you can do some more things to make your system more secure. For example, by default, we have a lot of software from our technology partner network on IGEL OS, so you can do your job. But anything that you don't need for your particular use case you can get rid of. For example, if you're a Citrix user, you may want to get rid of RDP and VMware because you don't need them. And it's as easy as unchecking a couple of boxes and the software will be gone. And the less software, the fewer potential security defects. That's a pretty easy calculation.
So as I alluded to a little bit talking about this on the file system security slide, we do TLS and SSL for everything. So whether you're managing the devices on network, whether you're managing them over the big bad internet with our ICG, whether or not you're connecting to the device using our shadowing tool, or if you're connecting to the device via shell to do some kind of debugging, everything we do is encrypted by a TLS. And that also goes all the way to the session when you make the connection back to your VDI session. So we keep everything secure in transit, and again, as well as at rest on the device, making it—
That's cool.
Yeah, extremely secure. And again, the best part is that if anything of that gets modified, the chain of trust finds that problem and stops the device from being utilized as a host for anything bad.
Yes, that's good. Of course, you will need updates because IGEL does have current software and people are discovering vulnerabilities in existing software all the time. There's virtually no piece of any sizable piece of software that doesn't have one or two security bugs. And the thing is, you need to fix these with updates. And IGEL OS has 3 regular releases a year. And we also do out-of-cycle releases to fix important security issues. And then the management system, the Universal Management Suite, makes it easy to download these updates and to roll them out to your devices. And you can also subscribe to IGEL security announcements. Just go to the igel.com homepage and you will receive the IGEL security notices that describe the security defects that have been discovered, them, and what release will fix it. So that's the whole thing in short.
So I have to say thank you very much for taking the time and effort to put together the security announcements. I know that's been your baby since the very beginning.
My pleasure.
It pleasure. Is a wonderful, wonderful addition to our whole security story. And you know, we continue to improve our product as we go forward. And you're a huge part of that. And thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Friday, Mr.
Yes, and you, and happy Friday to our viewers.
Happy Friday, people. Have a good one.